Even doing this training does not have me in the game when it comes to relationships. It's very non-interactive with you. What I am doing is I'm sharing who I am. I'm exposing myself to you. But there's so many people on this webinar that I don't even know like who's on, who's not. I don't even know what relationship I'm strengthening or not. So are you playing in the game of your relationships? What relationships suffer because you are in the stands of your game with them? And just imagine, like, I get the conflict one. I get the, like, there's a problem maybe in a relationship that you've been avoiding or not dealing with. And you really want to see it this way. You are in the stands of that relationship. Like, you could be the one that goes into the field and makes a difference. It really makes a win for your relationship. But you want to see why you don't do that. Like, there's a radical issue with why we don't get into the field, why we don't go onto the court, so to speak, and we stay in the stands, especially when there's a problem, especially when there's an issue in a relationship. The reason we don't get onto the court is we often fear failing. And that is a viable probability. Like, that is a likelihood that you'll go into the game and you will fail. Meaning there is a chance that what you do with that person is going to be a win. It's going to strengthen the relationship. And I'm not saying it's going to happen, but there is a chance that what you're going to do is going to do the opposite. And so that's the reason that we don't get into the stands. But when there is a conflict and there is a problem in a relationship, what I can tell you is being in the stands, often it magnifies the problem. It magnifies the issue because you're not doing anything to strengthen your muscle around being good at handling things like this in your relationships. You're not strengthening it. You have no practice around it because you're constantly in the stands in your life around it. You see that? So you may find you talk a lot about this individual, but not with them. Or you talk to yourself in your head about conversations you have had, or ones you've never had, or conversations you had some time ago, and you're just constantly playing these things in your head rather than just like interacting. And it's fascinating when you finally do, whether it's a client, whether it's a prospect, someone that's going to make a difference for you financially or in a business. Like, when you finally just have that conversation, it like frees something up. All this stuff you were holding on to from your stand conversation, all this stuff you were worried about, whether you were going to fail or not, at least you got yourself out there and you got to see the result. Now, how about wealth? How many of you guys would love an upgrade in your wealth? How many of you guys would love to see wealth radically shift for you? So where is money? Where is it? Where are the different games of money being played? If you were to have money, wouldn't you want to play in the game where money is? Like, just think about the analogy, guys, of like, there's a game happening, right? And let's say that this game is the game of money. Where is money? Is it in the stands? Is the money in the stands? Is the money where the spectators are? Is the money in the conversations around people in the stands talking about what's happening in the game? No, it's not. Unless you're a professional commentator, then you're in the game around that. And that would be, financially beneficial, obviously. But when you're in the stands, there's no money up there. Can you see when and where you are not in the game when it comes to money? You might consider these areas. How you balance your money. Where do you interact with it? How do you handle making it? How do you handle your debt? And I'm going to throw another one out there, a really big one, and that's your focuses. Are you in the game around strengthening your connection, your relationship to money? Because a lot of you have some crazy beliefs around money. One of them that I think is commonly confused is saving versus earning. Like, our obsession with, well, I'm going to try to find the best deal. I'm going to save the most money. I'm going to collect all my quarters and pennies and store them. And I'm going to spend most of my energy on saving the money I get, rather than spending that same amount of energy in earning. And I will tell you from experience and multiple books and other people's experiences that the more you can shift onto the court, which in this case would be having a mentality around earning and spending your energy around earning, versus saving, you're just going to have more. Savings is a stand conversation because the money is already in your pocket. There's no game of you winning or losing more. All you have is what you have, and now you're just trying to like shelter it from the world. You got your grasp, your grip on it so tight that there's no way for like money to flow to you anymore because all that energy is being consumed holding on to what you have. So do you know what it feels like to be in the game with money? For those of you who are in sales or own your own business, you know you are in the game of money when making it is the intention behind what you are doing. So, and any of you who've gone to school, and I'm not saying this, you need to go to school to learn this because I would not recommend that. But if you were to take a business course, the first chapter in almost any business course you ever take, and the first chapter in any book on business that you take, is it defines the intention of money or the intention of a business. And the intention of a business is to make money, period. It's like a test on most and all business courses you'll ever take. When you go to college, this is going to be the first thing they cover in any business course. But the intention of a business is to make money. It's not to do charity. It's not to employ people. All of those things come after. All of those things come later. The intention is to make money. And so if you're in a business or you own a business, are you in the game? Because anything other than you making money is not in the game around your business. For those of you employed, working hard, being valuable, does this have you, or are you in the game around this? Because working hard and being valuable to your company has you be in the game around money. Because now you're the asset. And Trent said it in the last training, but you are your business. You, right? And there's nothing cliche about that. Like even as an employee, you are your business. The value you bring to an organization is your business. And the more you bring value, the more you're on the court, the more you're strengthening your skills, the more valuable you become to me, to some other employer that may want you. And if I start to not see that value, you could easily go somewhere else and have that value realized. Your health. Can you see how you've not been in the game with your health? And Trent actually talked about this quite a bit. But the scary thing is, guys, is we get done with the training like Trent just did, and we do nothing about it. We do nothing about it. And it's because we can't see that we're actually in the stands. We actually think like talking about our health somehow has us in the game. So this includes and is not limited to exercise, what you eat, your diet, your mental state, rest, sleep. Can you see how much you may think you're in the game with your health, but you're actually not? It's like you're talking about your diets with your friends, you're exploring like supplements, but unless you're actually doing the supplements, unless you're actually doing the diets, unless you're actually exercising, you're not in the game around your health. Consider all the hours you are in the stands of your health that you could be used in the actual game. I love the people, and I'm not saying this is wrong either, but I love people who are like, the new year rolls around and they buy a gym membership. And it's like, okay, well, that's great. That's just like applying for tryouts. But if you don't actually show up for tryouts, you're never going to be playing in the game. So it's like the act of buying a gym membership had you in the game for sure, that act. But the moment you're done buying it, you're back in the stands. The act of buying gym equipment definitely has you in the game. But the moment you're done buying it, you're out of the game. So it's like we actually have to be using this stuff. We actually have to be doing it. And so just consider, it's fascinating, by the way. But as humans, we spend so much energy, so much time being in the stands that it's actually more difficult than being in the game. Like your life, if you knew how much easier your life could be, if you knew how much easier your life could feel, if you knew how much more wealth, how much more health, spirituality, powerful relationships you could be attracting into your life, you would stop doing the stand stuff you're doing. It's exhausting to look back on my life and to see how much time I used to spend in the stands. It's exhausting. Like life right now is so much easier. Why? Because I've just gotten into the game more. I've gotten into the game more, and it has my life show up more. The things I want show up more, easier, faster. And I imagine the more I keep doing this, like even 10 years from now, I'll be looking back at now going, oh my gosh, that was exhausting. Like my life is so much easier now. So it flows so much better, so much more secure, so much more financially independent. You see that?